All right, guys, we're out here today and we're going to talk about one of the most important topics when you're dealing with the new modern multi-frequency detectors, and that is frequency. And what does frequency do? How can you use frequency to help you optimize your searching when using these detectors? Now, this is going to be a cross-brand course because this applies to the Nokta products, the Minelab products, the XP products, the modern multi-frequency detectors, the single selectable frequency detectors. So these principles will apply across brands all across the board. So they're, we'll do classes on each individual detector in the near future to help the end users get a better handle if you're starting out with these machines, and even give some pro tips with these machines too. But today we're going to start out with frequencies. What do frequencies do on these detectors? What does multi-frequency changeable, basically weighted frequency programs do to help you in your search conditions? Well, let's just go over frequencies for a minute. 4 kilohertz, and I'm just going to break this down in a 101 type way. Lower frequency, 4, 5 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, 7 kilohertz, in that range, is hotter on silver. It also helps alleviate or ignore some of the lower conductors such as aluminum foil. Okay, when you come up the scale, as you're coming up the scale, you'll notice a lot of the older single frequency detectors were in the 10 to 15 kilohertz, and what manufacturers were doing is they were trying to get the best of this world and the best of this world in one set of frequencies. Well, since we have technology progressing, we've got multi-frequencies that can run up in this world and this world at the same time. So what does a higher frequency do? Well, higher frequency makes a detector hotter on low to mid conductors or hotter on gold. So basic 101, a higher frequency is hotter on gold. A lower frequency is hotter on silver. Now, you can get some unmasking with a higher frequency too in iron. Higher frequency will unmask in iron very well, especially low to mid conductors, and you may see an advantage in the unmasking realm over the lower frequencies. Now, what we have here in front of us today is machines that run 2 frequencies or multiple frequencies or whatever their proprietary multi-frequency is, 3 frequencies, who knows, that's up for debate, but it doesn't matter. It runs at the low end and the high end and in between. So as you get a legend, you have to look at the programs and you have to see what the weighted frequency is. So you've got part, and you can look at M1, M2, and M3. And I believe that the 111 update has changed M3, but let's just talk about M1, M2, and M3 just for a minute. M1, according to the manual, is lower weighted, which makes it more suitable for deep silver coins. M2 is more higher weighted and makes it more suitable for mid to low conductors, and it will hit silver too, so don't get that wrong. But M2 is kind of up in the higher realm, and when you test the legend, it seems like the legend unmasks better in M2, and that's that benefit of that higher weighted frequency I was talking about in iron unmasking scenarios. M3, I believe, is a lower weighted frequency that's made on this machine, and it'll help on the silver coins, and it'll help the machine not so hot to aluminum foil. So if you have modern trash and coins together, it'll help ignore some of that foil and hit the coins, where if you've got a higher frequency program chose on any of these detectors all across the board now, it can make the machine very hot on the foil, and it can skew the ID, and it'll make the machine tend more to ID with the foil instead of the high conductor silver coin. And I'm just going to use basic 101 foil silver coin. In the higher frequency, the machine will go towards the aluminum foil. The aluminum foil will become more prominent in the ID and the tone than the silver. If you get in a lower weighted frequency, it can become more tuned to the silver coin and ignore the foil. So it's very important. So if you're using a legend, Deus 2 or a Manticore, the first thing you got to ask yourself is, what am I searching for? Now, this is the assumption that you have looked at the manuals on all of these detectors. You have looked at the different settings. You've got general, high conductor, low conductor, high trash, fast on this one. You've got general, park, deep high conductor, sensitive full tones, fast, sensitive on this one. You've got park, field, part one, or field is how it lays out on this one, M1, M2, and M3. So you've got beach modes on each machine. So you have to look at what type of hunting you're going to be doing and what your desired target is. And keeping this in mind, you know, silver coins down here, gold and stuff up here. So you figure out on this detector which one, M1, M2, or M3 is going to be more suitable for what you're doing. On the Deus, you can go to general, which is a higher weighted frequency. You can go to park, it lowers it down and starts coming in the mid-range, topping out at 24 kilohertz. You can go to deep high conductor and it stays down in this range. Same principle on the Manticore. General runs up through the whole spectrum to the high end to the low end. All-terrain high conductor will stay down more in this end. So what else we got? High, fast, and I believe that runs a higher frequency. Then we got low conductor on this machine, which will run up in this end. And we don't know the exact frequencies of any of these detectors. We're just giving general summation of which end the scale will be based on what the manufacturers tells us the program is designed for or the search mode is designed for. So this is the first thing you have to do. Read your manual. You know, a lot of guys will get a machine and just throw the manual in the corner. But look at your manual, familiarize yourself with the machine, look at the different search modes, and think about what I'm showing you here today with these frequencies. So if you're coin hunting, you may want to start out on a legend with M1, M2, or M3. You see all the test gardens here, scenarios I've got. I don't know if you can see the orange dots, but I have orange dots all over my yard here. And those are targets in ground. You can do that if you don't have a yard. You can do it in a tote, put some soil that you're going to be hunting in, and put some targets at different levels. Listen to the machine, switch the frequencies, and watch how it reacts. Actually, we will do that right now. We're going to cut the legend on, and we'll use it as demo since I have it mic'd up. But we'll use it as a demo, and we're going to show the selectable frequency. So let me crank up this GoPro if my board don't fly away here. And the sun's hitting us pretty hard here. So let's see if we can see a difference on the legend here. So of the frequency change, if we can see it in real time. So we've got M1, but just let me go to the single frequencies and start out. So let me turn my camera just a little bit. So we're in 4 kilohertz here. And let me just turn my camera here, guys, just a little bit. Make sure I'm not getting overexposed here, but let me make sure we're down there. I think we are. So we've got a 12-inch half here. Listen to this thing in 4 kilohertz. Let me check my recovery speed and all and make sure we're doing good with that. Yep, okay. We go back here and let's do us a little noise cancel. But we're actually in 4 kilohertz. We have a 12-inch silver here. Remember what I told you guys about 4 kilohertz? This is hotter on silver, and I'm going to run it up to the high frequency too. 4 kilohertz. Okay, let's take the machine and let's run it up to 40 and see if we can see a difference. See that silver coin? It's not that it won't hit it, but we see it diminish. So let's go back to 4. And you can see that demoed in real life time there. Let's go to 4 here on the dime. Let's go up to 40. See it right there? And you can see it on that smaller silver coin a lot right there. Now let's go back to 4. Okay, now we can go into M1 and let's see if we can see a difference in the multi-programs. M1, which is for silver. M2, which is for higher conductors, M3, I've got some EMI, I've got a lot of cameras going too, guys, so let me go back in here and noise cancel this unit again. I've got a lot of cameras going today and a lot of electronics running around these machines. I'm already in a high EMI area, and yes, these cameras are running, and they do affect the metal detectors, and the microphones do sometimes too, and you have to noise cancel. So let's see here, we're 24, yeah. Let's go back to M1, which is designed for silver. Okay, so we see the weighted frequencies. Let me get my cameras back adjusted. Give me just a second, guys. All right, guys, so we see in real life time what's going on there, right? So we can see that, like on that big silver, 40 kilohertz will hit it, but we see that 4 kilohertz is stronger on it. Now you may ask yourself, well then Calabash, why not just use 4 kilohertz in a single frequency all the time? Well, there's benefits to multi. When you got a machine running multi, you can get a better ID, you can get more stability, like with saltwater sand and hotter ground. You get the multi-frequency will also help you with, like if it's running a lower spectrum up into here, you'll still have some sensitivity to mid conductors too. So there are benefits, and that is why, like 4 kilohertz, just running 4 kilohertz, yes, you can run 4, 7, and you can find coins, but you gain the benefits of having the machine running multi with the stability, and you also have the sensitivity to nickels too. Instead of, you see how the machine falls off on the silver just running the single frequency by itself when you raise it up. But running the low, and you know, that is a big discussion, and a lot of people bring that up. Well, why not just hunt in 4 or 7? Well, you see the ID at depth comes in. You have a better, more stable ID with multi-frequency in different types of soil conditions. So there are benefits to running multi-frequency. And on some of these machines, and I think that the latest version 111 has addressed the aluminum foil thing that we had talked about some time back, and running M3 will let it run in a program and running high conductor on this detector and deep high conductor on this detector will let you run in this range, and it'll also give you some aluminum foil. I'm going to call it see around. It will give you some aluminum foil see around, where if you've got aluminum foil laying close to a high conductive target, your detector will more likely, even though the ID may compromise and the points may drop some, it will still give you a clue and enough information with the foil laying close by that there is a high conductor laying there. Where maybe in a single frequency, 15 kilohertz detector, it's going to hone in on the foil. The ID is going to average together, and let's just put this out there real quick. For you guys that don't know this, and I probably should do a class on this, but metal detectors will average. So they'll take 2 targets, and if this is a mid to low conductor and this is a high conductor, mid to low conductor gold, high conductor silver. So we take a gold ring and a silver coin and we lay it down side by side and we swing the detector over it. You know, if the targets are in close proximity, the detector will snapshot it, and basically the VDI that it reports back to you will be an average of those 2 targets combined together. Well, once you start kicking it down in here and you start running these multi-frequencies in programs that are more designed for silver coins, it will tend to weight the ID one way or the other. And some detectors are really good at this. It will tell you that there's a silver coin. Now, this silver coin may come in at 93 or 45 or 50 on this one, 93 on this one, or 88 or 90 on this one, and it may drop it from a 93 to 90, or it may drop it to 88, but you still know an 88 is a high conductor on this. May drop it to an 88 on this one, or 86 or 85, but you still know that there is a high conductor laying in there. Even though you hear two targets, it's giving you the high conductor snapshot. And the same thing on this one. This one may say 40 instead of 45 or something like that, 50 to 40, but you still know that a 42, 43 is a high conductor laying in there, and you need to check it because there's a potential masking situation going on. So these frequencies can be used to optimize what you're searching for. Let's say you're searching for Civil War relics. Well, you put the Legend in M2, that's your better unmasking, you've got mid to low conductor buttons, you've got high conductors too. You still have see-through power with the high conductors, but we did notice that the lower frequency was deeper on just a freestanding high conductor. But when you're hunting in masking situations, depth is not your major focus. That's why you will see they're both deep. So don't take away from this that the higher frequency programs are not deep. That's not it. They are both deep, but you're isolating the targets that you're looking for, and you're gaining the unmasking characteristics and making the machine a better unmasker. And that's with all three of these machines. Low conductor, fast program, sensitive full tone, sensitive program, M2 on this one, whichever way you go, field or park. But you're making the machine have better unmasking characteristics that will help you unlock those Civil War relics or whatever relics, colonial relics, whatever you're looking for, not Victorian era relics, whatever you're looking for, 2,000-year-old Roman relics, whatever you're looking for, it will help you unlock a lot of those targets that are locked in that iron. When you do that, you will gain better unmasking characteristics than running a weighted frequency in this end. But you can use this all to your benefit. But it does take a little schooling, and it may take you a little testing to see how the machine reacts in your type of soil. Now, there are no absolutes in metal detecting. There are people who live in such ground that's so hot that it's just unreal. And, you know, there's different frequencies there that may work. You may have to use a lower weighted frequency in that situation just because the ground is hotter. And so just keep that in mind. There's different scenarios and there are no absolutes. So you have to check your ground, and you can utilize the frequencies of these metal detectors to make you way more successful. So the more you learn how to optimize your metal detector, you will be more successful. Of course, you have to learn about the sites and you have to get permissions and all that too, but the more you know, when you get those valuable permissions, the more efficient you will be, the more successful you will be. And you know, when you got your buddy out there with you and he ain't read the manual or he ain't watched these videos, and you know all these things and you don't, and he sets his machine up to be hunting something else, and y'all are hunting silver coins and you got yours set up, you got a lot better chance than he does. And you may come out smiling at the end of the day with him standing over there pulling his hair out. So, you know, all right, guys, frequencies. Very, very important part of this in understanding which program. And also something about test videos, just a real quick disclaimer. When you're watching test videos, you need to be up to par with what programs they're running and what they're weighted. If a person is testing the Legend or the Manticore or the Deus 2, say they got the Manticore set up for silver coins, they got the Legend set up for unmasking mid to low conductors, that's not apples to apples. Both detectors need to be set up in their optimal programs for the desired targets that they're being tested over. So that is just something to keep in mind. And the more you know about these frequencies and the programs on which detector you're using, the more that you can analyze and you can keep the good information and spit out the bad information. This just makes you a more powerful detectorist when you understand what's going on with these frequencies. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.